up, everybody? Welcome to yet another episode of These Corona Times. We are on episode 6.
Number 6.
June. I can't believe that we've made it thus far. So you are tuned in again with Tiffany and Simone and Brandon. We hope you know us by now, but if it's your first time,
I hope so.
Yeah, but if it's your first time, we want to thank you all for dropping by our YouTube channel and checking out our videos, and we hope you guys will watch the first 5 episodes, not just this one, but watch the other ones too. They've been pretty good up through now. So thank you so much for the continued love and support to all those who are watching with us weekly. Episodes drop every Monday on this YouTube channel, and of course we will be in this space as long as Corona allows us to.
And if you've been watching the last couple of weeks, you know that our topics have been pretty heavy with everything going on, and rightfully so. A lot of stuff that we had to kind of adjust to. I know y'all don't know this, but we moved some stuff around to be able to talk about some of the pressing concerns going on in the world, especially around, what it is to be Black and brown in this country. So this week we are having something a little bit lighter for you all, but something very applicable. So definitely want to check in and see how folks did on their self-care. Once again, I can't remember what my self-care was.
It's in the notes.
Eating better, Simone. It was eating better.
It's not in there, but I think I know, but I'll go last. Whatever was go.
Secret behind the scenes thing here. Simone adjusts our notes every week, and for the last 3 weeks, the goals have been the same. Like, she just copies and pastes it. Brandon's go outside. Tiffany's go, don't watch the news. Simone's go, I don't know what it is. It's been the same thing.
Brandon's go was about the Bible, okay? It was about the Bible for 2 weeks. I don't know if it was like that last time, okay?
It was different. It was different last week.
Week. But Simone, we'll remind you of your goal. We're going to make you go first this time. So yours was to eat better. You were supposed to eat out of that pound cake, is what you said.
Okay, so I switched. No, I didn't do a good job, and I'm not gonna do well after the episode. But I did get outside.
That's good.
So we had our church.
Switched.
Right, I went back. Right, so our pastor here at Trinity Worship Center, Pastor Daniel Kelly, he hosted. I guess the church hosted a drummers battle. So we got outside. We went in our cars, obviously, and stayed, in our cars, and watched him and another drummer kind of compete. And so that was really cool to do that. And I got outside a lot, the last couple of days. So I'm feeling a lot better than I have been.
So, ma'am, I had questions about the drummer battle because I'm interested in that. Was it full drum set, or did they each play the snare drum or something?
They both had full drum sets. It was like a bush there, so I couldn't see everything. I just, could hear. But yeah, they had 2 drum sets, and they would alternate, and then they had the praise team on the side, singing. So it was really nice.
Was this to raise money for something, or just an activity to kind of get folks out?
Yeah, so they actually, you could donate to the COVID relief fund that they have going. So we can list that somewhere in our notes at the end, or for folks to be able to donate if they would like. So they had that going on, which is a wonderful cause, and they had the young people out with signs who've been protesting. I don't know if they had been protesting or looked like they were ready to. Anyway, so that was really nice. Had my son out of the, what do you call it? The
sunroof.
I sent another picture.
The sunroof.
The sunroof. He was going from up there, then coming down honking the horn. So he banged his head a couple times. That's okay. It's all right. So I'm good. I'm much better.
That's what's up.
Tiffany, what about you?
Me go? Okay. Mine was to go to the gym this week, of course, and it ties in with our episodes. This week we're going to talk about when the outside opens back up in these current times. But this was the first week that the gyms here in Louisville have reopened, and I go to a smaller gym, not one of the chain gyms. So shout out to Edge Body Boot Camp, just a small gym in my neighborhood, and they were doing a great job, and I feel really comfortable at them implementing the stipulations for COVID. And my goal was just to get out and go exercise because I had not been doing that. I made a really strong effort the first month of Corona, and then I took 1 day off, and then it turned into a week, and then it was 6 weeks, and then I just didn't. So I was like, I'll get back to it when the gym's open. So it's been a great experience. Thankfully, it hasn't been a sore experience because, Brandon, if you stop going for a minute, things get real stiff and, soreness happens. But that did not happen for me. Everything is really good. And it's been a great outlet. This has been a difficult week. It's been a very emotional week. We had the memorial service for George Floyd start up this week. It was Breonna Taylor's birthday this week. It's just really been emotionally taxing. So it has really been nice to have the gym as an outlet, as a place to go to relieve that stress and just kind of leave it all on the mat. So I've been sleeping better too because of it. It's been taking me all the way out.
I personally have not appreciated you going back to the gym because there's that 30-minute period where I can't get a hold of you when I'm used to having all access at all times. So I have not appreciated you going back, but I'm glad that you're feeling better.
Honestly, we're going to be all messed up when we return because we have really been used to just like around the clock. We can talk to each other. Of course, we have times when we just kind of check out on each other, but it's really been like around the clock. If we want to talk, we're just right there.
Unless I'm on siesta.
Yeah.
Brandon, what about you?
So mine was to actually get a little bit more like alone time. And I think it's really just getting out the house a little bit more. And so I've been helped by, outside opening up a little bit. I've been able to take more drives, to the gym and back. And it's really allowed me to think. And it's been an overall, like Tiff said, it was a really tough week last week. I just had a really big sense of I don't want to do anything. But you got to push through. If you're Black in this country, you just got to push through regardless. And so got to the weekend and then, did something both days, the weekend. And it was good to actually kind of get out. I have the kids call my name 100 times. And, it was good. It was solid. It was definitely something I need to do more often to make it a point to do.
Yeah.
Those kids don't call you that much. They don't call you that
Whatever.
much.
I've heard
they don't call me. They don't call me out nearly as much as they call out their mom and my wife.
Oh, really?
No. I feel so bad for it because, man, they will call, mommy. You gotta tell my mommy something. No, you don't. You just saw her. Can I give my mommy and I mean, that goes from like 7 a.m. till 7:30 at night.
Mm-hmm.
And so I definitely don't get it nearly as much. I get it maybe half, but that's in that half is still bothersome.
The half is rough. Well, Brandon, you want to talk about what we're doing in this episode today?
Yes. So this episode is When Outside Opens Up. And we thought it was going to be a really good chance to talk about, of course, outside open up, businesses opening up. A lot of states and cities are in their first or second phase of reopening, whether it's lower limited capacity in malls or restaurants. Gyms are opening back up. Daycare is opening up here in Louisville about a week or so, in Kentucky in about a week or so. So, how do we want to talk about, how do we feel about this place opening up? Do we have any reservations? Are we scared? Do we think it's too soon? Are we going to do the complete opposite and kind of retreat more? Like, what does opening up really want? Because it seems like, at least here in America, that we just got bored of Corona and we just decided it was done for. And and places are opening up. So how do we feel like that? Is there going to be a second wave? What do we think about that? And from my experience over the weekend, are some of the new changes actually something that should have been done a long time ago? Mm-hmm. Maybe some of these changes that we're going for, we should have been doing those. So we'll talk a little bit more about that, as the show goes on.
Yeah.
I tell y'all, I feel very, very mixed because it's like I want to get out, but I also want people to stay away from us, from my family. Like, I want to be out, but I want you to get over there. Like, don't come near us. Mm-hmm. And so people have different values around that. During this whole thing, when we were, trying to get out to the parks, we were literally, we have the little walking trail and we would get over to the side to try to make sure people had space. Everybody ain't doing that. They're not doing it. And so we're literally like running from people, trying to have our time, but trying to also not get sick. So I think like I want there to be an opening because I want my child to go back to school. I want to go back into the office and do my thing. But I'm also very nervous and scared about what this means for my health and, you know, just the health of our community. So I'm mixed.
Mm-hmm. I think I'm mixed too on it. Like, I'm excited that things are opening back up. You know, the salons and the barbershops are opening back up. They've been open since I think the last part of May, like last week of May. Real excited about potential of getting my hair washed because I need somebody else to put their hands in this, not just me. You know, I'm excited that the gym is open back up. But on another note, you know, I'm not really eager to go back into a restaurant. I'm just, every time the option has been presented to me, I've just kind of been like, nah, you can take it home, you know, to go. And I'm also just concerned, like you, Simone, I feel like, I don't know if for other people, Corona is like an afterthought with all the stuff that's going on now, if they're just not considering the Corona anymore. But I feel like I'm going out to public places and, you know, used to could tell, like the parking lots at the major grocery stores or whatever, they'd be sparse. Just wouldn't be full. Yeah. Parking lots now are just full of people. And I'm really not seeing a great deal of people wearing their mask. It's just like half and half. Some are and some aren't. And even that same space that we were getting before in the aisles, like where people were just like, oh, are you looking at that box? Okay, I'll just wait till you go and then I'll look at the box. You know, they're not doing that now. It's back to, I'm going to get the box too. I'm going to get, you know.
Sean said they took the 6 feet markers out of one of our stores here.
And the little arrows, like, I don't know if you all had in your stores, but they had like you can only go in this aisle and you have to go through that aisle. Like you couldn't both come down the aisle at the same time or whatever. So I just feel like some of the things that we started to implement, we're just not doing anymore. And I'm a little tentative about just being out. Like I'm okay with the controlled spaces. Like when I go back to my hairstylist, she's got lots of protocol, you know, for going back in. When we've gone back to the gym this week, I've seen lots of protocol for going back in. I feel comfortable in those places. I'm not really seeing that level of care in like the grocery store right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you all. There are certain places that I was really itching to go back to, and some places that I just really don't need to go to right now. And, you know, I've been in the gyms. I was in the gym all last week, and that's my second job. So I've been in the gyms and I've been out, and that's been cool. But, you know, I went out to eat and it felt pretty normal, but that's not something that I really think I'm going to be doing. Just like, oh, it's open. Because like you all said, people have gotten real comfortable and, you know, traffic looks normal now. You know, restaurant parking lots are full and it's like, okay, I can just continue to get takeout.
Yeah. Yes.
Exactly. We did that just last night. We walked through, we went to get sushi and they had like the outdoor patio. And of course, I sent my husband in to get it because, you know, he's the one that we exposed to the corona. And y'all know how he is. He is
germaphobe.
He a germaphobe.
He is.
Yeah.
Woo. And it looks fun. You know, we were foodies and we first got married. That's what we did. We went out to eat all the time. We were out all the time. And so, but it feels like something's incomplete. You know, like we haven't really rolled this thing out. And I think that with everything going on with the protests and with the police brutality, all the reports, like it feels like we can't walk and chew gum at the same time. Like, oh, well, this is our focus now. And so Corona's over. And it just isn't. And I think that, I don't know if y'all remember this, but when this all first started, they were already talking about a resurgence in the fall.
Yeah.
And so are we setting ourselves up for that? Are we I'm totally with all the protesters. And I worry that a byproduct could be, you know, more Corona and more deaths potentially.
I feel like we're in a perfect storm situation. Like, you know, on one hand, it's really bad to be in these crowds together, close to each other, you know, wearing your mask or not. It's just a big cluster of folks like right up under each other. But on the other hand, there's something so big happening right now, not just in our city, not just in the country. It's going across the
In the
world.
world.
And it's like, how can you not be a part of it? You have to be as safe as you can be right now. But still, it's just like, it's a perfect disaster to me, because I do feel like our numbers are probably going to go up in some way, shape, or form, just because that's all the things they're telling us don't do. Like we were talking about today, we had a meeting, Brandon, talking about reopening church, and we were saying like we can't, want to have choir because you don't want to be projecting and singing real loud, or raising your voice real loud on people.
Singing on people.
Yes, just sing it right in your direction. But that's what happened in the protest, though. You have people just, shouting, and they're all together. It's just, to me, it's like a perfect combination for a resurgence.
Yeah.
And again, I also don't want to blame the protesters, because,
Right.
I think before it's over, all of us will have probably been out there at least once. So, like, I'm definitely supportive of the cause. It's just like, it's such a terrible time to have to be doing this. And also, I think that the protests are soaring right now because of Corona. People have not been outside for months, and this is the opportunity to go out, to do something, to be out at all hours of the night, actually have a good excuse for something, and they're seeing other people, they're fellowshipping. I almost think, wow, it's a terrible time, but then it's a perfect time, because think about how many times we've been through this stuff where we've been led to protest, and a part of the reason I think it kind of goes up and then it dies off is because we have work. You got to go back to work Monday.
Right.
You got to do this, you got to do that. We don't have anything to do right now but protest, like day in and day out. So it's
day in, day out.
The best thing that could happen right now and the worst thing at the same time.
Well, I was at a protest yesterday. It was the Black Men of Louisville protest. We did a silent march downtown, and I was thankful to see that the majority of folks had on their masks. And for me, I have my own little protocol. Even if I'm going out, when I come back in the house, the clothes that I had on, they straight to the laundry.
Straight to the laundry.
Like, there's no sitting down. There's no lounging in the kitchen. There's no nothing. It's like, as soon as I came into the house, I took those clothes off and they went straight to the laundry. Like, that's just the protocol. So, hopefully that, individuals are being as safe as possible, even while protesting. It's hard to social distance while protesting. We know that. But, a lot of people had on their masks. My group just tried to social distance as much as possible. We weren't all up in the mix. And, again, you can't blame the protesters, but we have to acknowledge that some of these protests are bringing in, hundreds of people, if not thousands. So you can't say that something's not going to happen just because you agree with what they're protesting.
Yeah. And it was funny too, because I remember having like a dual reaction when I saw y'all out there, and I told you this many times, like, oh, I love seeing y'all out there. I talked to some other Black men I'm close to, and they were feeling so much better about being out there, and I loved all the pictures. And then the side part, like on the other hand, I was like, ooh, put that mask on, please. Cover. Please cover.
Well, I'm glad you said that, because I want to talk a bit about mask culture. Because we've had our own mask culture discussions in the polos about how we feel about wearing a mask. So, share if you're willing. You don't have to. Share if you want to.
And what they're really trying to say, they're shaming me into wearing a mask. That's what they're trying to say. And I didn't need shaming. I wasn't going nowhere. I forgot my mask once. And they ain't let me forget it. The masks are cool. I think, because we as Black folks, we gonna be stylish. And so we got all types of masks. I've seen all types. If you are a member of the Divine Nine, I've seen Q masks and Kappa masks. I've seen, Black Lives Matter masks. I've seen stay 6 feet away from me masks. I've seen all types of masks. So I think that, because that's how we do. We take something that, that is not necessarily the most comfortable, and we make it work. And, I see a lot of people wearing those. I see that, in the gyms as well. My gym, you have to wear it unless you're doing vigorous exercise. That's the only way. So you have to wear it there, but some gyms don't make you wear it. You know, so what can you say? I'm wearing mine. I got, you know, I left for work this morning and forgot my mask and had to come back to the house and get it.
We did text him before the protest, like, Brandon, do you have your mask?
Put your mask on your face.
Picture, he had his mask on.
We were very proud. I think I have been, during all this, probably going out a little bit more than you all have, at least to the store. Like, we were making we were making our runs together. We go to Target or we go to Kroger or whatever. So I have been wearing a mask probably since all this started and just going in and out. But I will say it takes some getting used to. Like, you know, and then still like, well, when should I put it on? Should I wear it right now? Like, for instance, we had a gathering of 10 people or less because we follow the rules. We had a gathering this weekend for my father-in-law's birthday. And it was a whole lot of, you know, we hadn't seen these people in a minute. Like, my sister-in-law came in town. I haven't seen her since January. And we got ready to hug each other. And it was like, no, just it was like waving, you know, there was no hugs. So it just, in that too, it's like, well, should we put mask on? Should I have the mask on in the house? Do we need the mask on for this situation? Like, it's a lot of, I don't know when to do it. And it still feels a little bit weird when you do it, especially when you see like folks in the store that don't have it on, and it make you feel like you're dumb for not wearing it. I mean, for wearing it, they make you feel like you're silly.
Yeah, I don't think I want to be, you know, really wearing it inside the house or, you know, on my property or from taking a walk around the neighborhood. You know, for us, you know, we're wearing the mask if we're going to the store. And I definitely wore it going into the restaurant. Wore it, of course, at the protest. Wearing it, of course, at the gym. But, you know, in those bigger areas with less people, I'm not wearing it. I'm not wearing it.
Yeah. Well, I was supposed to go get a smoothie last week. I was going to go in the store and get the smoothie, had my mask on. I was ready, and they was closed. So I didn't get
I just want to point out.
What'd you say?
I just want to point out that we have asked for photographic evidence of Simone wearing a mask, and we have yet to see it.
Haven't gotten it.
I'm gonna send y'all. I had it yesterday. I had it on, but I have not. If I was going into an enclosed space, I would absolutely wear one. But because I'm not going to work, Kate is not in school. I haven't been in. We go out for walks, and I don't wear it outside because, like I said, we stay away from folks. So I haven't really had real experience wearing the mask, but I have several masks because y'all know my mother-in-law. She don't play.
Yes.
So she sent us masks.
Yes.
Tiff has definitely been out more than the both of us combined. I didn't, you know, when I went back to work at the gym last week, that was the first time since everything shut down that I've been out the house, you know, for more than 2-3 hours. That was the first time. And so it was definitely an adjustment because, you know, the mask, you know, sometimes your breath not all the way fresh and you got to wear that hot mask and you're blowing, you know, and I was having to demonstrate exercises and I was like, ooh, it's getting hot.
It's getting hot to me.
Like, ooh, I need to freshen my breath or something. Is this what people are smelling without the mask? This is
No, I'm glad you said that because I know I texted you all earlier like this funny meme that I saw, like a BuzzFeed article where this person said they're not wearing the mask because they don't want to breathe the carbon dioxide that comes back into their mouth from the
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes, there's people saying that.
Yeah, that's not the way.
But let me ask y'all this, because y'all talked about reopening the church. And I saw a post from a popular pastor that we all know, Myron Edmonds. He was talking about, he said, it was something to the effect of, our Black folks, are we like built for social distancing at church? And I thought about it. I was like, when I get back to church, when I get back home, even when I get back home in July, I'm not social distancing from y'all. I'm jumping on y'all, okay? I might be in your lap, Tiffany. I might end up in your lap without a mask on, because that's how we do. We hug, we kiss each other, we love on each other.
Yeah.
What do y'all like? Can we do it?
I have to admit that it happened a couple times at the gathering that I had, and some of that was church family. And I said to myself, this is why we can't open church, because we're going to want to hug each other. We just don't know how to not do it, you know. And so we haven't really been in church. I haven't been in church since March 14th. But we do recordings.
Woo, man, it really has been 3 months.
It's been 3 months. But sometimes we do audio recordings, and this time we did them in the church this Friday evening. And let me tell you something. Just walking in the sanctuary, I got just a little teary-eyed. It's like I really miss just the place. And, you know, we talk about our church a lot and the fact that we all grew up in the same church. It just, the place itself, the space itself just means so much. And it was just like, I can't wait to get back in here, you know, just to be amongst the people. But I think we're going to have a very hard time social distancing once we get back. Because that's the thing. You hug, you know, I just don't know how I'm not going to hug people.
Yeah. It's definitely going to be tough. You know, like, you know, when I meet, you know, when I get up with Sean, you know, me and Sean, you know, we dap each other up. It's like thunder.
Thunderclaps.
So want to be like, why is that so loud? And so we dap each other, and then we embrace each other, and you know, because I'm secure in my man, he's secure. I mean, we give each other a real hug, and it's like, yo, when I see Sean, because again, since you all have moved to Charlotte, you know, it's like, dang, I haven't seen my brother in months. I haven't seen you all since what, Christmas?
Yeah.
No. It was a little bit after that because Sean had to come back. So I haven't seen Sean since the beginning of the year. So, you know, it's been almost 6 months. So it's like, man, get a chance to see my brother. Happy to see him. You know, this, that, and the other. And yeah, we text, but it's just not the same. It's like, but I can't.
Right, no.
I got to give you the elbow.
What are we going to do with these kids, though? These kids, they're not in the social distance. They're not.
Not at all. Can I just say, interject, since y'all brings that up, nobody greets each other like black men greet each other. They just nobody else does.
It's a whole production.
It's a whole situation. It's really a whole situation. And I was thinking about, you know, again, always thinking about stuff that happens in church. When one of our dear members, Uncle Mike, passed away, all the guys like rallied around Keith to speak at the funeral, and it was like 5 of y'all. I don't know why y'all felt compelled to do this, but between every y'all like dapped up each other just down the line. It's like 30 seconds of hugging. It's like big thunderclap.
In the microphone. In the microphone.
And you know what? Speaking of Uncle Mike, you know, today. This is his 9th anniversary of his passing today.
Today?
So yeah. 9 years. So yes. Much love to Keith and Keisha.
Yeah.
You know, rest in peace, Uncle Mike, man. If you're from Louisville, you know Uncle Mike.
Everybody knows
all those motorcycle rides at the birthday parties.
Man.
No permission was asked. And nobody got mad. It's fine.
No whatsoever. And then again goes. Go ahead, Brandon.
If my parents knew I was with Uncle Mike, I mean, they didn't really care what I was doing.
I love how that ties into the episode we had a few weeks back where we talked with Brian, and we were just talking about how important it is to have that community. Like, you know, how we're all over the place right now where we're saying, well, you don't have to be in the building to have church. You don't have to be in the building to have worship. But there is something about church that brings about that community, that sense of belonging, you know. And Uncle Mike is we call him Uncle Mike, but he's none of our blood uncle. None of. But, you know, he's just that presence, that figure, that male role model that we all had the pleasure of growing up with. And a lot of that is just due to the ties we have of church.
Yeah. So going back to reopening. So with everything kind of bustling and everything like that, do you feel that this was all done for the money? Or do you feel like we really think that this is, you know, Corona is the Coronas is over with?
It's hard to say.
No. Profits over people, for sure.
Yeah. when your leadership is bolstering about economy, you know, and prior to the protests that were happening regarding the Black Lives Matter or the deaths of the innocent folks who died at the hands of the police, the protests were about reopening for COVID. I want my haircut. That's what the sign said. Yeah.
Thank you.
Lest we not forget. So I feel like had we not had all this just the recent police brutality related cases and the protests of that, we would still be protesting states reopening COVID. I mean, we had people suing the governors for keeping the churches closed. So I think it is definitely money has a lot to do with this. But I don't understand why. You know, if the numbers go up and we're not ready to go back, we're just going to be right back where we are in a few months, and it may last longer.
And you know, just like with every episode, we do a little bit of research before. So I just found a couple of, I'm not going to call out states, but there's a couple of many states that are seeing an increased number of cases, yet the reopening plans are continuing.
Still going.
You know, and I will say North Carolina, definitely. I think there was an article that said that we just recorded our highest single day increase in COVID cases just 2 weeks after our governor initiated the phase 2 of the reopening plan. So I think that, and you know, it's a two-edged sword, because I understand that there are people who are not working, and I'm, you know, checking my own privilege, and that I can do my whole job and get my whole paycheck from right here in this spot. And a lot of people can't do that. So I get that there, you know, is an issue there. And at the same time, if everybody's sick and people are dying, like, you can't go back to a job if you're not alive, you know, or if you're dreadfully sick. You know? And so I don't,
I'm definitely of that mindset. I agree with you all. You know, it's definitely, and I love our governor, Governor Andy Beshear. He's become a kind of not a hero over the court, but he's been someone who's looked up to pretty highly.
Shout out to Uncle Andy
for his demeanor. But if you kind of listen to what he was saying in the very beginning to when he started talking about his the reopening plan, you can kind of really tell his shift a little bit into, because it was like, we're not going to do this early. We're not going to do this. We can't be doing that. We can't. And then next it was like, we're going to reopen in this. I was like, oh, he changed his tune a little bit. And, you know, I don't know why. I'm not in his brain. I don't know who he was talking to. You know, with us here in Kentucky, we have had, you know, some issues with some people getting their unemployment. So some people having issues getting that the Medicaid, you know, health insurance while they've been off of work. So maybe some of that has had something to do with it. But, you know, it's kind of interesting, man, where the cases are not going down. And we're still full steam ahead. And I think, you know, we still have maybe we have a little bit more capacity to deal with some of this stuff now, which I think we have better treatment now. You know, hospitals are a little bit more prepared. There's more equipment and stuff like that. So I kind of get it, but it just seems a little bit rushed.
Well, at the same time, the disease itself is just continuing to evolve. You know, I feel like there are more symptoms that were added on than were initially there. And now they're saying that first, like, children were fine, and now they're saying children are susceptible, and they're not even sure what they have now. It says it's like Kawasaki appearing, but more children are being impacted by this than they were initially. And for me, we in Louisville and Kentucky, we have the privilege of getting to see Indiana's governor present, and then our governor present every day. If you watch the news, you know, a certain time they both come on at different hours. And Indiana's cases were going up, and they're above ours, and they were still pushing ahead and like, we're going to reopen. And for real, you don't really get to see the effects of this for another 2 weeks. So honestly, we will probably not know like how the reopening has gone with all the protests and how that's factored into the numbers, maybe for another week or so. That's assuming folks are getting tested anyway.
Right.
We're assuming a whole lot.
Yeah. The Kawasaki, what do they call it? Multi-system inflammatory syndrome or something like that. That, you know, that scares, of course, any parent, because I think about like, oh, if kids aren't affected, maybe we can do some summer camps, you know, because like I said, we need him out of here. Like, he's about to kill us. We about to kill him. We just struggle.
Wait, do you mean your precious son? Your precious
Oh, yeah. And it just makes me worry, you know, should we be putting him out there? So I don't know. It's a give and take. And I think it's like, how do we open back up, but still also just be careful with it?
Yeah.
And considerate and intentional about doing that. I don't know the answer to that.
Yeah, and I'm right there with you, Simone. My kids, I'm tired of them.
Your precious babies.
And my kids are probably, and
No.
the funny thing is, the kids are probably as tired of me as I am of them. So I can't even put it all on me. They probably tired of seeing me 24/7.
Or just probably tired of being in all the time.
Yeah,
not really do anything.
And we've decided that we're going to move forward. The Y camp, CEP camp that my daughter goes to is opening back up on the 15th. So we're going to do that. My son's daycare opens back up on the 15th as well. So we're going to do that. We're going to see, and kind of, we're the mom of the mindset. If we see things that make us uncomfortable, we do have the privilege.
Stop.
Yeah, we do have the privilege to yank out. I work from home most of the time. My wife maybe off work for a little bit. So we do have the privilege of kind of pulling back and holding out if we need to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think it's important to talk about it from our professional lenses too. I was just thinking, like, as somebody who treats a lot of depression and anxiety, a lot of the things I tell people to do is to be more physically active. And so during these several months, it's been tougher to get people to do these things because they're scared to be out. And so there's been a lot more isolation, a lot more withdrawal. And so one thing is, like, I'm ready for me to be able to, like, push people out, be like, okay, listen, we in phase 2. Mm-hmm. You can go do a couple rounds around the track. We got to get your mood up. I also treat OCD. I'm working with some folks who have, I don't know if folks know about it, but contamination OCD. So people who are worried about germs. And so this is the worst time, the worst of anything.
Yeah.
So part of me is like, let's get out so we can do more work on that. So in terms of mental health care, I think, for certain disorders, it's helpful to get back out there while also promoting safety. But I want people moving.
Now, to bring it home, I am, as I've gone out a little bit more and seen some of the new things that are being done in either restaurants or just out in general, are some of the changes that have happened actually been pretty cool?
Yeah. Some of the things that we're doing, I really appreciate. Like, I know for I work in a library, so we're going to interact with a lot of public, not necessarily me, because I work in the dungeon in the basement, but folks who work with me will be interacting directly with the public. And one of the things that we've done was put up these plastic shields just around the desk. And I think that's just a great way to keep the patrons safe and the workers safe. And then also, like, worked on the spacing in the building and making sure folks are at a safe distance apart. I think these are things, I feel like as the more we get back to it, it's like stuff we probably should have always been doing to just help keep each other safe.
That's it.
And protect.
That's exactly where I was going with it.
But it's like, it gets hard to break those bad habits. I have been out one time to eat at a restaurant, and we sat on the patio, and it was just me and my siblings, my husband. And I was thinking about stuff, like, it's stuff you do that you just don't think about. I was eating something. I went to go, like, put my finger in my mouth, and I was like, no.
Oh, no.
No. We won't be doing that.
It was finger licking good.
I know, right? No, you can't be doing that. But just like washing your hands regularly, washing before you eat something, like, we just kind of take that for granted. And we've been pretty much living around here walking dirty for years. Just like, how many times do you touch something and then don't wash your hands between that touch before you touch your face, touch your mouth, touch your eyes? Yeah. So I feel like while we're saying, it's common to wash your hands for 20 seconds, it's common to use soap and water, these are just things we haven't really been practicing regularly. If we were, we wouldn't have such bad cases in flu season. Things wouldn't run so rampant when we actually do get them. So I feel like that some of the changes have been great, and I'm kind of all for these things moving forward. I think it's going to be like this for a while, especially if they're talking resurgence. I just assume 2020 is just going to be the year of social distancing.
Yeah.
I'm afraid that it's contained within 2020. I do not want to go into 2021 with this.
I got a place I want to go. I went out to eat, and restaurant here called Wild Eggs, and They didn't have any menus.
Oh.
No menu. So there was a barcode on all the tables. And of course, they did the social distancing with the tables and whatnot. So there was a barcode, and you scanned it with your phone, and it automatically took you to the restaurant menu.
I love that.
And so I was with Fred Parker, who was our guest last week. And so I was asking him about it. And he said, man, I worked in restaurants for 5 years. I don't recall ever cleaning a menu unless somebody spilled something on it. So we probably shouldn't have had menus to begin with, because everybody touches them. Nobody really cleans them. So this is maybe one change that's good. You know, we all know buffets are dirty.
Yeah.
Ooh, Lord.
Very dirty.
Bring my own utensils.
Need a fork, ma'am? No, I'm sorry. I have my own.
I have my own.
So I agree. I think telehealth it's been a thing for the past several years, but it's really a thing.
Oh,
and I think
yeah.
also we need to, like, at my counseling center, hopefully we'll keep some of that even when we're back, because it just expands what we offer.
Yeah.
Another thing, and I'm not saying I'm going to continue to do it, but the wiping down the groceries. Are y'all wiping down y'all's groceries still? What does that mean, Tiffany?
It means no.
The grocery. Oh, you are?
No, I was fading out.
These groceries are filthy. They're filthy. They are. So we continue to do that. I'm not saying we're going to do it forever, but I'm looking at the Lysol wipe and I'm thinking, wow, that's nasty.
Well, the same with packages.
That's real.
I haven't, usually get a package, you just want to open it. I've been letting the package sit for just like a day before I'm just going to grab the package. Just let whatever it is on it just die.
I will say that, I'm a pretty clean person to begin with. But I will say that I do wash my hands way more now. So if I go, it used to be, there was a package out on the front door. I would go grab the package, all right, open it up, take out the insides, do something else. And then I guess before I ate or something, wash my hands. Now, as soon as I finish opening that cardboard box and disposing of that cardboard box, hands are being washed. As soon as the groceries are put up, hands are being washed. As soon as I go outside to do anything, hands are being washed. I touch my door handle, hands are being washed. So it's like, okay.
Yeah. You got to do it, though. Like, you got to try to keep yourself safe, like, as best you can. And I feel like that's all we can really do. Hand washing is one of the best things you can do. I know we joked about it earlier, but wear your mask, please, especially when you go out to enclosed places. Like, as you start to go back to work, I don't know if your jobs will be like Brandon's and require you to have it on for a certain period of time or whatever, or even like mine, we're going to be required to wear them in enclosed spaces. But make sure you're doing that. It protects you and the folks around you, even if you feel like it's silly. Put your mask on. Of course, you don't really have to wear it when you're jogging. We had a nurse practitioner on a few weeks ago. She said, you don't have to wear it when you're exercising, not when you're running. Like Simone said, when you're out walking with your family in open spaces. You don't really need it for then. It's really for those enclosed spaces that you're going to be in for prolonged amounts of time. It's just a good way to protect yourself and other people around you.
Yeah, and, when we're looking at masks, it may really seem, because we know that the wording has changed a lot. It used to be you needed an N95. That was the only one that you could get. So, and then it went from, surgical masks are fine. Now it's gone to
whatever you can find to wrap around your
whatever
face.
you can do, whatever you can find.
Right.
And so a little bit of background for that is, sneezes and coughs travel a certain amount of, a sneeze, I want to say, can travel, upwards of 100 miles an hour. A cough is like 20 to 50 miles an hour, something along those lines. I think each sneeze is like 100,000 droplets. So even if, and I got that information, that's straight from like the, I want to say it's the COPD website, COPD website. And so this is stuff that was done even before all this corona stuff was going on. And so just having something on your face, while you're sneezing to kind of reduce the transmission, that's going to factor in a lot. Even if it's not 100%, even if it's just 75%, or, it's still a whole lot better than nothing. So wear your mask, folks. Wear the mask.
I believe that droplet stat, though, because some of y'all sneeze with full force.
Okay. Sometimes it sneaks up on you where you know it's coming and you can't do nothing about it.
Nope.
And if you live in Kentucky, in that Ohio Valley, you got allergies, so you're going to be sneezing a little bit.
Yeah.
You can cause a fight nowadays because now, whenever somebody sneezes, you have to say, "Ooh, it's that Rona."
You ever be like, and with other people, you're like, I don't want to sneeze, I don't want to cough because I don't want you to think I have corona. I'm just.
Yes. My husband, he is the worst. He'd be like, somebody sneezes, like Sean, they can't help it. Like
Sean about ready to fight somebody.
Right. But I think because this is something that none of us have ever dealt with before, you have to also do your own research and use your judgment. Use your best judgment, in terms of is it time to go out? If it's not time for you to go out, like for us, our family, we're not fully integrated into, our community just yet. Because for us, we don't feel ready, and that's okay. So we're, we're not gonna feel, guilty or let people shame us about that. That's just our preference is to wait. And so that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Most definitely.
Yeah. So, go ahead, Tiff.
I was gonna say I don't think any of us are all out in the out just yet. Some people are out there.
I'm putting my pinky toe out. I'm putting my big toe out just to kind of test the waters just a little bit.
So when the outside opens up in these corona times, I'm not out.
I'm not out there yet. I'm not ready.
So I'm aware of our time. Do we want to go ahead and talk about how we're going to keep ourselves safe amid the opening up the outside process?
Yeah, I'll go first. I think I'm just going to continue to limit my whereabouts. I do like the fact that if I go somewhere, I can kind of trace back where I've been. I don't have to really think about it a lot or how many places I've gone to. It's really just gym and home, grocery store and home. Even if we do visits, it's still kind of drive by and back home. So I'm going to just continue to, they call it contact tracing. I'm going to contact trace myself. Continue to, wear my mask as much as possible and really just trying to forget. That's been my thing here lately too, is like sometimes when I'm making a quick run inside the store because it's still a new thing and still trying to adjust to wearing the mask. Sometimes it's like, I got halfway to the door of the store and I'm like, oh, my mask is still in the car. I have to go back and get that mask. So I'm just going to try to be more mindful about continuing to wear the mask when I go outside and go into other locations.
For me, it's the same thing. I'll also add, not lingering places unless I have to. If I'm at work, I obviously have to linger at work. But, like I tell my clients, if you're going to come into the gym, you're going to work out and then you're going to go. There's no lingering too many places right now. Even when I was at the protest yesterday, we did the protest, we did the march, we heard a couple of words, and then my group was like, all right, let's make that move. Because the longer you're out, you increase your chances of getting something there. So continue to do that. For me, being a small germaphobe, I'm going to still clean my car out, on a weekly basis, wipe it down, kind of making sure. I'm sorry, I just got to do it. Wipe it down. That's just how I'm built. Wearing the mask, of course, as well. But just not going, just keeping the places that I have to go to a minimum.
Yeah.
For me, if I go to an inside place, I'm going to wear a mask. But I think I'm just going to continue to send my husband out. That's how I stay safe. Is to continue to send him. We have one person in, one out. He don't linger. He don't say nothing. We're good.
You volunteer Sean as tribute.
Wow.
You volunteer Sean as tribute.
Yeah.
Sean is a Corona tribute.
Absolutely. What is it? May the whatever be ever in his favor.
May the odds be ever in your favor.
So appropriate. May the odds be in his favor. All of that.
Shame.
So we talked about what we're going to do to be safe as we're moving into the outside, but what are our self-care goals for the week? Because we like to set those from week to week. What are we going to do between, today, which is Sunday, when we're recording, and the next time we get together to keep ourselves mentally sane?
I had rolled those into one, but let's see. Maybe I'll try eating better this week. I'll go.
Oh,
that's 3 weeks in a row. 3
I
weeks in a row.
But you go ahead.
The third time is the charm.
And I don't like rules and stuff. I don't like to set. I'm it's whatever happens.
We're gonna just start running the tape back and remind Simone of her goals every time.
Right. What you got, Tiff?
Oh goodness. Oh wow. I'm gonna take a Simone card. I'm not gonna set one this week. I'm not gonna set one. I feel like I've had a lot of mental stress relief this week already. So I'm kind of maybe I will set one. I'm gonna just kind of take some stuff off my plate this week and not take on as many things. Simone accuses me oftentimes of being a fixer, of getting ahead of stuff and trying to fix it before it goes one way or another. So I think I'm gonna just not let that be my self-care, not worry about things I can't really control this week.
I endorse that. That method. I like it.
I think I'm going to limit my social media, and I've started doing that over the last couple of months just because it was going to be a whole lot and a lot of topics were getting rehashed over and over and over again. I didn't feel like I was missing anything, but I want to take a real effort to just decrease it just a little bit more. And, obviously I get on there, in the evenings, I get on there for jokes and laughs and stuff like that. But just, maybe just decrease the stuff that I see on the earlier in the morning, just not necessarily starting my day with it, but, saving it for later on.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, I think we have, as we're about to close, we have some exciting stuff coming up for the month of June that we're happy about. We hope to do some stuff over the summer. Again, we're here for as long as Corona allows us. So as long as you guys are following and continue to watch, we will continue to do things. But also, we want your feedback. So if there's something that you'd like for us to talk about that we haven't covered, or you have questions about something we've covered previously, we'd love for you to comment and let us know. We'd be happy to address that at any time or add one of those ideas into our show. We're very flexible.
Very.
Some of the ideas, I'm like, hey guys, we should do this. And I don't hear nothing back, so I know that's a bad idea. But that's okay. But thank you all so much for the comments, even the side, because I think we've all three gotten like side comments and questions and sharing and posting. We really appreciate that.
Yeah, we really do appreciate the love and support for these Corona times.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Continue to be safe, folks.
Yeah, stay safe. Wash your hands. Wear your mask. Don't touch your face. What is that, Simone? What are you doing? Cover your face. Bye, y'all.